y'all? Luke Things. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to build your own NFT hydroponic system just like this one for under $100. Look at all that lettuce. We have our two 10-foot, 3-inch diameter PVC pipes here. One of them will be used for the plants, we're leaving it for now. The other we're gonna cut down to determine the height of our hydroponic system. In my case, that's gonna be 3 feet. So we're just gonna measure and mark with the trusty scribe and cut. There's a lot of ways to cut PVC. We're just gonna use a basic hacksaw. Now that we've cut this 3-foot section, we're going to get started on the main trough. Let me set this to the side. We're going to take our other piece of PVC pipe, drill 11 holes in it. So let's get those marked out. I'm going to use this square to mark holes every 10 inches. That will give us more than enough room for the lettuce's root system and ensure all the plants are getting enough sun. Now we're just going to go down the pipe, try to keep things as straight as possible. We're going to go through with our hole saw and do 2-inch holes all the way down the pipe for our net cups. One more hole to drill. This will be a 1/2-inch hole for our repurposed sprinkler right angle piece. So we're going to put that up at the top of the pipe here so water will pump in and flow down. We have all of our holes drilled, PVC's prepared. Now it's time to start piecing together the actual irrigation system. First thing we're going to do is take this sprinkler L piece. We're just going to fit it into this hole here. Now we're going to take about 12 feet of this irrigation tubing that's going to run back to our pond pump in our reservoir. And this is just standard 1/2-inch irrigation tubing. This length doesn't really matter, it just needs to be long enough. So we will keep pulling this. Once we have about the right length of this 1/2-inch irrigation tubing, we're just going to cut it like so. So we've got that cut. Now this is just a little Rainbird slit fit irrigation connector. So you just take this 1/2-inch tubing and shove it in there, and that forms a watertight seal. Then we're just going to screw this onto our L bracket here. But first thing is we're going to put a bit of Teflon tape on here to make sure that doesn't leak. Now this did just slip right in, that's fine. We don't need a watertight seal basically from where this runs into the pipe because it's not holding any pressure, it just needs to push the water in. Before we hook up the actual irrigation hose, I'm just gonna put some Teflon tape on here just to help make sure that we get a good seal. That should keep any water from leaking out. So once we have that Teflon tape in place, we're just going to thread this on. And it's actually a standard hose connection, so you could always hook your hose up to this and flush it out, which is kind of cool. Now that we have everything cut, our holes drilled, our irrigation hooked up, installing the drain tube is super simple. We literally just use a PVC elbow, press fit that right in there, and that drain pipe will just sit in our reservoir. We have our 2-inch holes. As you can see, net cup fits in there perfectly. That will hold our lettuce in its rock wool. I haven't come up with any great way to cut through the lid of these storage bins we use as our reservoir, so I'm just going to mark out a circle here and cut it with a razor blade. Now we just need to make sure a 3-inch pipe will actually fit through there, and it will. That's perfect. This is just a spare piece of PVC I had. Last bit of cutting, drilling, that sort of thing. We need to drill a 1/2-inch hole for our irrigation tubing to run into. And let's try it right here. There we go. Easy enough. I have the system set up here so that you can get an idea of how it all looks put together. Water starts in that reservoir. It's pumped up our irrigation tubing into our trough, which then feeds right back down into our reservoir, and the water just keeps recirculating. Forgot about the end cap here. This is to keep water from spraying out the end. Doesn't need to be sealed or anything, just slide it on. Filling the reservoir. I ended up finding the perfect place to put this outside my house. When I did the first video at Home Depot, I was gonna do it indoors with the fluorescent lights. That's why we got those J-hooks. But as you can see here, this wood pile lines up perfectly. So we're gonna do this outside. Really, you can do this anywhere. As long as you get sunlight or supplement with some sort of fluorescent or LED lights, you can put this thing wherever you want. Our water is flowing, which means it's time to add nutrients. Before we get started on our nutrients, the first thing we need to do is get our pH in check. You can use a tester like this, I'll link it below, to check your pH, and then a combination of these pH up and pH down chemicals to adjust your pH. The sweet spot for almost everything you're going to grow is 5.5 to 6.5. So let's check that pH. We're just going to come into our reservoir here with our pH tester. Let it sit for a second. We're reading a pH of 7.5. That means we need to bring it down a little bit. So what we're going to do is take some of the pH down, just pour it right into the trough. The pump will circulate it, come back, check again in 30 minutes. From personal experience, what I've found here is that 1 to 2 tablespoons should bring us down that full 1 pH level. But obviously this is going to differ depending on your water and how large your reservoir is, that sort of thing. It's been about 40 minutes since we added around 2.5 tablespoons of the pH down formula. So let's check our pH again. We're reading 6.1, 6.2. That's right where we want to be. Now time for nutrients. There are so many different ways to do nutrients with your hydroponic garden. 1 part, 2 part, 3 part solutions. We're not going to get into that today, but we're going to be using this Playground 2-part solution, Hydro A, Hydro B. It's very simple, equal parts of each. Based on this being a 17-gallon reservoir, we're going to use about 0.74 cups of each. We're just going to dump them in the trough, let the pump circulate. Super simple. I don't have any super scientific means of measuring here, so I'm going to start off with a 1/2 cup of each, and then do just under a 1/4 cup, and that should get us about where we want to be. All right, we got the nutrients in. Next step, let's get some lettuce in here. We started this lettuce from seed about a 1.5 weeks ago in this rock pool. Now that the 2 true leaves are well developed, that means we're ready to transfer into our hydroponic NFT system. I'm going to do a video later on starting seeds and how I like to do that. This part's super simple. You're just going to pull the rock wool out carefully and set it inside of these net cups that we already have inside our hydroponic system. Here's just an example. I don't know how well you can see that, but just a 1.5 weeks. Look at that root system that's already developed there. You can see our lettuce is just sitting here in these net cups, and that's it. We'll swap the water, put new nutrients in about 2 weeks, but other than that now, we just let them grow and let them enjoy the sun. So as you can see, in only 4 weeks, that lettuce grew like crazy and it tasted amazing. My next door neighbors do a lot of vegetable gardening. They gave me some tomatoes combined with that lettuce. It made an awesome Caesar salad. So I hope y'all will go out and try it yourselves. It's super easy, and get out there, give it a try. If you have questions about NFT system, hydroponics, growing your own food, just let me know. I'd love to help you out if I can. And it'd be greatly appreciated if you would like and share, comment, subscribe, all those kind of things. So thanks for watching Luke.